The end of the seeker. That was something I'd heard early on when I got involved in spirituality. Sounds like I joined the gang. But when I started on the spiritual path, and I don't think I paid much attention to it. It was one of those little misty things. But during the last 2 years, the seeker in me has come to a rest. It wasn't a sudden moment when it happened, it just all of a sudden I realized that there's no seeking anymore. The search is a little bit over. Yeah. So I wanted to take some time and dig into that, perhaps unravel what that feels like or how that came about. Maybe you resonate with that, or maybe you're just curious about the topic. And if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Josephine. And if you're a regular viewer, then welcome back. So I started on the spiritual path about 10 years ago, but before then I was still a seeker. I just searched for the answer elsewhere, mainly in science in different ways. But there was always this lack of gaining knowledge somewhere, or learning more would open up to more truth or less suffering, or like there was something I could learn that would make me whole, or that would be the last piece of the puzzle. And I was drawn to different teachers, to different retreats, to different trainings, reading books, being quite enchanted by a new teacher and their way of looking at it. And it was like they all added a little piece of the puzzle for me, making old things I knew click a little bit more. Like one of the first retreats I ever was at was in a silent retreat in a monastery in Thailand. It was a 10-day silent retreat, and I thought I was going there mostly to just learn how to meditate, but we just dropped straight into meditation, and it was quite overwhelming for me. And I remember one of the monk, or like the leading monk, he was holding these Dharma talks, like speaking about Buddhism. And I didn't really, I mean, I could understand what he said, and there was these phrases that I think went over my head, but I still collected them in me without really understanding them. And then maybe a year or 2 or 3 later, it would click, almost like someone phrased it in a new way, and the old teachings would make sense again. And that's what it's been like for me, almost like a new piece of the puzzle connects to other pieces. And I think I somehow just thought that that's the way it was going to keep unfolding. That I would gain a new knowledge, that I would build more, that I would understand more. But that didn't evolve like that. It's more like the seeker has come to a rest. And why that happened, I don't know what made that click. But it's almost like I've realized that there's no piece of information that someone can give me that's gonna guide me anywhere else, because I am already here. What I'm searching for is the essence of who I am. It's the essence of this present moment. It's the essence of here. And I don't find it outside of myself, because I'm already it. And then somehow it's said that the seeker dissolves. I guess you could say that, but I would probably be more comfortable with saying that the search came to an end. It's just naturally, like the mind almost went like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I can't solve this riddle. You have to go to that faraway land where I cannot go. Like the mind almost understood that itself. And then it stopped searching. That doesn't mean that I don't read books anymore, and I still go to retreats. I love going to retreats. But I no longer go there to find truth. I go there to rest deeper in myself, to be in a community where people do the same. While they remind me of my own truth, coming home to myself. And I still diverge from that. I still get caught in my mind and not feeling lovable and all of this drama. But the tendency is no longer to search it on the outside, to go after more knowledge. It's to turn around, to rest back in myself, to follow the suffering all the way home. And I think it's also made me listen to teachings differently. Before, I think I listened to it more like an analytical way. And now I listen more on where they're pointing. Are they pointing me to truth? Are they pointing me back home to myself? Does that resonate with you? How do you listen to spiritual teachings or existential teachings? And I think one of them, well, I don't know actually, but this story wanted to be told. A few years ago, I was sitting in a cafe down in Gothenburg. It was like a spring day. Sun was quite warm. It was one of those exotic days when we in the northern part of the world finally get to see some sunshine again. But something in me was, there was like some friction. I had a bit of anxiety. I wasn't really feeling valuable, or, it's this, I move my body because that's how it feels. Like something was restless. And I sat at this cafe, and it was supposed to be really nice because the surroundings were, one of these things where you should be happy, but I wasn't. And then I caught my mind in the act of saying, well, it will probably be better tomorrow. And then it was almost like I froze and was like, well, what's going to be manifested tomorrow that's not already here right now? Like I could almost see that whatever I'm searching for, whatever I think this release is going to be, it cannot come from outside of what is already present. Nothing's going to manifest inside of this world that's going to switch from me not being lovable and not valuable to all of a sudden make me feel valuable and lovable. If it is not present now, it is not going to be present tomorrow. And I know I have felt that at some point. So that means that whatever I'm searching for, whatever I hope that tomorrow is going to bring me, it has to be present right now as well. Because things are going to move differently, but they're not going to come into existence. And it was almost like one of those mind-blowing things when you realize that anytime I say that things are going to feel different tomorrow, that's just an escape pattern. That's me not wanting to look what is actually blocking me from truth and love, beauty, clarity, right now. If I cannot find it now, I cannot find it tomorrow. And that's not to say that you can't postpone it until tomorrow. You can. I mean, we all do. But if we think that tomorrow is going to bring something new that's not available to us in this very moment, in this now, then we're deluding ourselves. Is that the word? We're not being truthful with ourselves. We're using it as an escape. And I think that was a key to unlock this end of the seeker. And notice for yourself, if you have this seeking energy within you, notice if you blame it or if you want it to come to an end. Because I'd like to invite the perspective that this is a beautiful energy. It's almost like ourselves calling ourselves home. I don't think I could have gotten rid of the seeker prematurely. It had to almost warp on itself. It had to go down every alley and test until it all of a sudden seen for itself that there is nothing out there to seek. I am it. And you don't persuade the seeker. The seeker sees through itself. At least that's my experience. The end of the seeker dissolving, resting back in itself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll see you next time.